Hi everyone. So today we are going to build this image carousel or image slider by using React and style component. So it is an image carousel with such a nice sliding effect. So we have added animation here, forward animation and it's a backward animation. So let's start building this now. Thank you. Hi everyone. So today we are gonna see a carousel or we called it image slider. So we are going to build this carousel image slider, and we will use a style component here. And uh, you will need a library style component. Yeah, so you have to install the style components and also a React icons. So let's see my package.json. In my package.json, I have style component installed and React icons installed. So we will be needing these two libraries for our image carousel. So you just, I have already installed it. You just need to install. So for that, just type npm install style components and what is the other React icons. React icons. Okay. You just install these two libraries. Just if you don't know these two libraries, style component and React icon, just Google it and just try to install it. I already installed it. So now we are going to build an image carousel, and for that we will be needing images. So here in the src folder, I have two folders. One is the components folder and one is the images folder. And in the images, basically I have 5 images here. So you also need to create a images folder and here add your images that you want or that you like to show in the carousel. So now let's start. So now, and one more thing. So generally what happens is we will start the React component or we will write the React component by the capital letters like this. And the style components is also being written in this way, like capital letters, start with capital letters. So to differentiate style components and React components, what we will do is we will prefix the styled keyword to every component that we will create using style component. So like for example, here I have created this style components and this is a style components. Okay. So I have prefixes style to style keyword to it, just to differentiate with the normal components. Okay. So first just import styled from style components, and now I have created this style container, and let me write something like styled container here, and let's just see the output. So yeah, you can see style container. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one component called a carousel. Let me check the spelling. If spelling gets wrong, it's no problem. You can just see the spelling of carousel. Carousel component. Carousel component.js. So here I will just create the first basic structure. So I have already installed the extension shortcuts for that. So I will directly use RFCE for functional React function component. And now, so this is basically your carousel components. And now what we will need is style container. So we just carousel, what happened? Okay, that's carousel component. Just saved it and just import here in our app.js. Carousel component. Yeah, that's right. carousel component is here. And now we will import our images one by one. So now import, this is my first .svg, so I will write first from dot slash, no, dot slash images slash first dot svg, and we just copy and paste this 5 times. 3, 4, 5, and the name of the second image is second in my case, so I will just delete both of the occurrences. For the third, similarly for the fourth, and similarly for the fifth. Just copy and paste. Yeah, so we have imported all the images. Now create one array. I called it images array, and just push first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. Now, also, what is remaining as style container here, carousel component in here. So we will create one component called styled arrow USL carousel container. Container, it will be style. Okay, so just copy the imports of style components, paste here, sorry here, and then we'll create our style component style.div. To create the style components, what we will generally do, we will import the style and whatever the component we want. So in this case, we want style carousel container to be one div. So just put a dot and just write div, and we will give template reference. So style components is basically a css in js, so it is alternative to css. And as we are writing this css in our javascript file, so we will get a lot of control because javascript is involved, so we'll get to customize a lot of the things. And yeah, so this is basically backtick. Two backticks are the tag template literals in javascript we called. And to use javascript in this tag template literal or template literal, we will use a dollar curly braces, then we can write our javascript code. So we will see that later. So first of all, I have created style container, and in place of this div, we will just write style carousel container. And now we will need one image container to show here. So first of all, okay, so here fifth is missing. FIFTH. Yep. So first of all, what we will do is we will just give some styles to this style carousel container so that we can see the container. So I will give the width of 90% and height of 80 vh, let's say. And just to see, we will give one border for now, pixels solid black border. Just see, yeah, so this is our container. Let's just center it horizontally by giving the margin top and bottom of 10 pixel and right and left of arrow so that it will be centered horizontally. Yep. I will again increase the size to 20 pixel. Yeah, that is looking decent. So now we will add our image here. So for that, again, I'm going to create my styled image component, which will be my style.img. and here I want, yeah. So again, we'll also create one container called styled image container, which will contain this image. So it will again a div, and what I will want to give here, we will give the width of 80%. Let's say 80%. That means 80% of the parent. Parent is our style carousel, and we will also give height of 80%. 80%. So this will be our wrapping div, which will wrap the image. And for the image, I want to give width 100% so that it can fully occupy the wrapped container. Height will also be 100% in this case for image. And now let's just write our styled image container. So it is basically a wrapper container, and then we'll write our styled image. It will be yeah. So we'll give source, and for now let's just see the first image how it looks. Okay, so here we are getting our first image. So what we can do is we can just center this image. So for that, in the styled image container, I will use this light box here to so we are going to center the image vertically and horizontally. Now justify content will be center here, and align items will also be center here. Let's just see. I just open the inspector and see what is happening here. Okay, so this is image. Where is my div? Let me just see. This is image. This is my styled image container, and this is my styled. Okay. Image. Let's just see. Well, yeah. So display flex. So let's just see what happened here. Width is 80%, height is 80%. Okay. So we just cut here for now. We'll see later how we can center this. So basically we have to write like look here. So we have to write the like justify and other items to our parent container, which is called carousel container. Okay. So this is looking nice. So we will also need one what we'll need one arrow here to click on the to see the subsequent images. So for that, we will first create one style component called const styled arrow container, which will be the style dot again a div. Let's just see. Let's just write style arrow container, and now I already told you that I have installed the React icons library. So just go to React icons, and here. So basically, you can install this using npm install React icon as just here, and the pattern. Okay, so we'll just import this just to copy paste this first, and we will now search our arrow, Curon, a double R O double arrow. So we want the material arrow here. Let's just see. Yeah. So so it is R arrow. We will now need, yeah, MD arrow. We will just copy this and paste it here, and we will import this from the art icon slash md. Now md, okay, and let's just paste here, and let's just see how it looks. Okay, so we got the arrow here. Now we want to give some styling to arrow. So where is my arrow container? My arrow container is here. I want to give the font size of, let's say, 20 pixel for now. Again, increase this to 30 pixel. Okay, 40 pixel. 35 pixel will be a decent one. Yeah, it is looking decent. Also, I want to give width to this style arrow container. I want to give the width of 50 pixel and height of 50 pixel. Also, background color of gray. So go to color shades and take the gray color. So this is basically a one color generator site. You can go to this site, or you can just Google color shades. Yeah, so just copy it and give the color shades of this color. You just see now happen. Width, height, background color is okay. Style arrow container. Why it is not coming? Let's just see in the inspector. Where is my div? This will be, here is my div. Okay. So we will not need this double quote here. Yeah, so just center this arrow horizontally and vertically. Again, for centering, we will use display flex, justify cutting center, align icon center, just copy paste these lines. It is centered now, and I want border radius so that this container will be a circle of 50%. Yep. Now what I want is I want a hover effect, and for this hover effect I want to give the background color of this, and initially it don't have any background color. So for hover, yeah. Also I want to give cursor pointer so that it will be a pointer when we hover. Yeah, it is looking good. So now it is looking good. So now what we will do is we'll try to add our logic to just change the image when we clicked on this arrow. So for that we will need one internal state by using use state. So just create one state called current image index. Set current image index will be a use state, and initially it will be a 0 because we want to show the first image. And in here what we will do is set current image index. No, what we will do is we will have our images array. So we will let's just copy this and paste it below so that we can see. So we have our images array. We will write images, and from these images I want the first image. So my current image index is pointed to the first image now. Let's just see. Yep, it is looking good. Now what we want is this style arrow container na? So we want to give the click event handler of on key, and this will be a next image handler. So just create a function next image, cons next image, and it will be a arrow function where we will set the current image index. And what here we want to do is we just want to increase the index by 1. So for that it is a good practice to first get the previous index and then increase that previous index by 1. Mm, and then it will be a 0, it will be a 1th index, so index, and then we can able to see the subsequent images. So now let's just check. Yep, the images are coming, but what we want is we want this button to be disabled when the index, when there is a last image. So for that we do write some logic here. So what will be our logic? The logic will be if current image index, which so we have 5 images and the last image have the index 4. So the logic will be current index if it is not equal to the images, 1 minute, images dot length, which will give the length, which will be a 5 minus 1. If it is not equal to this, then only we want to show this arrow. And if the current image index, which will be 4 in the last image, for last image, and this length will be 5 minus 1 4, then we will not show this tiled arrow container. Let's just see. So let's just refresh. It's the first image, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and the arrow is removed. Yeah. So as of now, our mm, logic is looking great and it is working correct. So now what I want is I want a back button also here, because once we reach to the last image, we want our backward images also. So for that I will again go to here, and this time I need uh, MD keyboard left arrow from React icons, and I will just copy this. I will just copy this, just paste it here, and in this case it will be a left arrow. What I want is so as you know, this is a display. We have given display flex to the style carousel component, and the direction will be row by default, so it will be in one row. So what I want is this arrow now. This arrow I want before the image. 1 minute, what happened? This left arrow I want before the image. So before this my styled image container, I want this arrow. And for now, let's just give the empty arrow function here. Let's just see. Yep. So we are getting this left arrow. Now we move to the logic. So for that, it will be a previous image handler, and the logic will be very simple here. We will write one function called previous image, which will be an arrow function, which will do which what it will do is it will set the current image index will be a previous index, which is our previous state, and we will remove one from this previous index. And now let's just see it works or not. So for this, yeah, I am on my last image, and if we click this, yeah, this is looking good. So now if I am on first image, I don't want this arrow because it is already in first image, so I don't want this arrow here. So again for that we will write a simple logic here, style arrow container. So I want this when my current image index is equal to is not equal to 0, then only I want to show this arrow. So in first it is 0, so it is not showing. Now if it is second, it is showing. If it is third, it is also showing. Fourth, fifth image, it is disabled automatically. If we go to the backward, then it is disabled automatically and it is removed automatically. The left arrow, yeah. So one more thing. So we will not need a border here now. So, so our image slider is ready now. I mean, we have we have written all the logic. So now what we can do here is we can just add some animation, because currently it is looking good, but it is it is not a nice effect. So we can add animation here. So I want to add animation to the image. So for the animation we will need a keyframes. Okay, and how we can get keyframes? Keyframes we will get from style component. So style component provide a keyframes. So we can get here and we can write our keyframes. And what we want is we want this nice sliding effect. So image sliding effect basically. For that we'll write our animation like for so this will be the forward animation as we are going forward. So first we will write a forward animation, forward image animation, which will be a keyframes tag template literal, and here we will give 0% and 100%. Yes. For 0%, what I want is I want translate transform, sorry, and translate x we will not need this because yeah, so we will not need this double quotes. Then translate x, so we want this to be slide to the left side from right to left. So for that we will give what we can do. Let me just think. Let's just check first by giving the translate. Yep. Translate of 0 pixel to x, and on 100 it will be a translate x of translate x. No, so here we want translate from -100 pixel to 0 pixel. So let's just see first. And this animation we want on our styled image container. Okay, so we have styled image container here which will contain our styled image, which have our styled image already contained. So we'll write animation here. The name of animation we will use a JavaScript here again. Do forward image animation for 2 seconds, and effect will be ease. Let's just say okay. Animation is right. It is right. Styled image container. Let me just see. So here translate will not work because we are given the style image container the width of 80%. We have 90% here, so we don't have much space to move from one place to another. So what we can do is we will give left right property. Okay, so we will use here positions. So for that this style image container, I want this to be position absolute, and the relative position will be give to the parent of style image container. No, the parent of style image container is style carousel container, but I want to give parent to this our style container, which is our root container basically in Abjad. So just give position relative and then give position absolute to our style image container, and by default right is at 0 first. And now we will do our animation. So right equal to, now what we want is from 50% to 0%. Right, 0%. Let's just see now. Okay, so it is actually coming from another side. So we want is we will give -50 so that it will come from right. Yes, it is working now, but our arrow is now going behind the image. It, you know, it leaves its current position. So for that arrow, we will give styled arrow container a position of absolute, and the parent we will refer for this arrow container will be our style carousel container. So it will be a parent. It will be a parent for this. So we will give position relative here, and now we want this arrow from left side to be 50%. Sorry, let's just say 90% for now for the site. Yeah, so our arrow has now come, but our left arrow is gone. Our left, okay, so our left arrow is also overlapped the right arrow. So we want this left arrow to be on the left side. So for that, we will now use a props on style component. So we'll send the prop for this left arrow, which will be a left position, and it will be a 10% from left. And for the right arrow, we will give the position 90% from left, so that it will be wide apart from each other. And now this is we have given prop to the style arrow container. We will just use props here. Now this is the CSS in JS thing. So here we will get the advantage to use JS. We'll pass the props. We'll get props dot uh, what we have sent, left position, props dot left position. Okay, so now it will automatically get left position of 10% to the left arrow and 90% to the right arrow. So just see, yeah, our arrow has come now. Okay, and now just check. So our arrow is working properly, but what is the issue here is only our first image is sliding, but the second, third, or subsequent images is not sliding, is not animating basically. And one more thing I have observed here is, let's just see. So this horizontal bar comes when we are running animation. Okay, so let's just see, carefully observe at the bottom. So when I refresh and when the animation starts, this horizontal scroll bar will appear. That is not looking great. So what we can do here is we can go to our parent, that is root component. We can use overflow will be a hidden. So now this scroll bar will not come. So observe, so this scroll bar will not come now. Not coming now. Okay. So the first image is animating, but the subsequent images on click is not animating. Let's just fix that. For that, now what is, why this animation is not applying? Again, it is a React thing. Let's just see. So this is our arrow. Now I'm just inspect. this image. Now observe this image tag. So while rendering, it is only changing the path of the image. Okay, so it is not rendering the whole component again and again. So that's why the animation is not applied. It will only apply when we refresh it. Okay, and for subsequent, because it is a reacting, React is not rendering that image tag or image again and again, so animation is not applying. So to avoid this, let's fix it now. So how can I fix it? So what we want basically, this image container, or this image component, we want to re-render this whenever we clicked on this next button. So for that, what we will do is we will create one separate component called image. New file. Let's just give app image.js RAMCE for functional component, and we will move this tiled arrow. No, this tiled image container from here to our app image container, which is basically a React component. And also cut this and this view app image. For now, we will also need a styling. So just cut this, paste in the app. So style image container styling and style image styling. We will also need this animation, because it is we are using the app image component. We will also need tiled and keyframes. And now, okay, so here we will need the image URL, correct? So what we will do is we will pass this image URL as a prop. We'll destructure here itself. So this src we will copy and paste in our imported app image component, which will be this. Now the src will be this. So src will be this src. Now let's just first check. Okay, it is working, but again for the second image it is not animatic. So for that, so what we want, whenever this src or this source or this path of the image changes, we want to re-render this app image component. So whenever it will re-render, it will again create a new component, and then animation will be automatically applied. For that, we will manage one internal state. So just get use state and use effect. Also, we will need use effect for re-rendering the component. So let's just first take uh, what we can say, current image. Set current image. Initially, it will be empty string. And what we will do is we will use effect here, give the function anonymous function, and then here what we will do is whenever the component render first time, we want to re-render it again for the second time. So for that, we will set the current image to be our src, and this src. Okay, so our current image will be our src. Okay, and the logic will be, let's just write empty fragment first. The logic will be and this effect is depends on our prop src, so we will give dependency list, and our logic will be if current image is equal to this src. Okay, then only I want to re-render. So for the first time current image will be empty and src will be this yeah, this path, so it will not equal. So let's just first check. Let's just first check. Okay. Okay. So you know the logic, right? So what we are writing here is current image. Initially it is empty, and so it and src is our path. So both are different. So it will not re-render for the first time. Again, immediately within a fraction of second, it will run this effect. So this effect will set this src our path to our current image, and now current image equal to src, then it again re-render. So it will just re-render it again. So this use effect will do the trick here. So just observe that, and now if we refresh and if we see, we will get a nice sliding effect, right? Hmm, looking good. What I want is I want to reduce this duration, animation duration. Yeah, it is looking good now. And now when we click on a back arrow, then again the animation is from right to left, but we want the animation from left to right. So we want to fix this also. For that we will create one more animation. This time it will be a back. This time it will be a backward image animation, and we want this from the left side. So left will be -50 to left will be 0, and we want this animation whenever the right or left arrow click. So we want to pass one props. So here we will manage one prop called direction set direction, which will be a initially it will be a forward direction, because we are clicking on the uh, on this next arrow first. So initially it will be a forward direction, and then whenever we will click on the forward button, we will set direction to be a forward. Again, for forward button the direction will be forward, and for backward button the direction will be backward. Yeah. So and we will pass this direction prop uh, to this app image. So image direction will be our direction prop. So we will destructure this direction prop here. We will destructure this direction prop. No, it is image direction. We will destructure this, and we will pass this to our styled image container. So image direction will be image direction. Okay. So go to the styled image container, and we want to write one condition here. Again we will use, now this time we want we will need this whole line key value pair for css. So we will write the other form of this css in js. Okay, so we will get props here, and we will check if props dot image direction equal to forward. Then again, style component also provide one CSS kind of component, so we can use. So we'll need to in this case we will need to use the CSS and backtick. This is again a practice that is there in official documentation for style components. We will use this, and we want, if the case is, if the prop is forward, we want this animation to be applied, and for backward animation, what we want is again one CSS and just copy paste, and in case of forward we will give backward animation, backward image animation. So that is looking good to me. Let's just check the result. Okay, first we will see forward animation, arrow appears here. uh, this is our last image, and yeah, it is working fine, and it is working fine, like it is sliding from the left to right, but it is kind of popped up. For that, we will give is, again we have to write one condition here. So where we have written this style image container. Yeah, so we have given this right 0. So we'll again put, copy this and paste it. Whenever the direction is forward, I want write 0, and whenever direction is backward, I want left to 0, left to 0, so that it will not popped up. Our animation will be smooth in this case. So this is our forward animation, and this is our backward animation. Again, this arrow is again going below this image. So to overcome this, what we can do is we can move image to a little bit away. So for this, initially we will set left to be 5%, and here we'll just change the logic little bit. Let's just see. Mm, Let me just check. Okay, so arrow is going down. So we can do, we can use Z index to this arrow. Where are the arrow? Okay, so arrow are here. So we'll use Z index so that it will be above image. Z index, Z index, index of 1. Okay, now it is above image, both the arrow. So we'll not get issue now. Okay, so our animation sliding effect is looking good now. From left side also, these are coming pretty good. Mhm. Now what I want to do again is I want to apply animation to this arrow also. Okay, so let's just try to animate this arrow whenever it popped up. For that, we have a style arrow container here. We'll first write animation for arrow, const arrow forward arrow animation will be a style dot, no, that will be a keyframes. Here what we can do is we want this animation to be from left to right. Okay, so let me just check the position slot. Okay, Okay, so for we will first see for the right arrow. So we can give here is okay. So it is appear image is sliding from left to right. Got it. So the animation will be initially it is left will be 0, and we can basically copy paste the same animation for the yeah we can we can copy paste this animation which is same, and we will use this of forward arrow animation, forward arrow animation. Just copy this and we'll again copy the animation line also. Mm. You just see how it looks. Tiled arrow animation. Here we will copy forward arrow animation. Mm. Let's just see how it looks. Initially it is 5%. So no, initially the left arrow, I mean the right arrow is 90%. Na? Let's just check. Let's check. Okay, so we will need a forward arrow animation here, not a forward image animation. Okay. What is happening? It is coming here. Okay, we don't need. Basically, initially it is. Oh, okay. We are already giving initial value of left to 90% by passing the props. Okay, so from 90%, so it will be a from 50%. The animation will start from 50% to 90%. Okay, now right. So now see, arrow is coming from left to right. So this will be a okay. So just forget about this arrow for now. Okay. So now just check the left arrow. I mean the right arrow. Yes. So it is coming with the image, which is also looking good. Just see, the right arrow is coming with the image. So here again we have to apply condition for the left and right arrow animation. So again the condition will be same. We'll file the props here now. Just copy and paste this line of the image animation. We will use this too. And if the direction is forward, we want we want this forward animation. Will not display right. And if the direction is backward, we want backward animation, backward arrow animation, backward, and it will be so initially the backward arrow is 10% to the left, and from 50% to 10% we want just copy paste here, here backward animation, and props we are sending is forward. So here for the arrow, where is the arrow? Yeah, so we will send yeah arrow direction, arrow direction. So this will be a forward. No, the forward will be this one, and this will be a backward arrow, the left arrow. Okay, so just go to the our animation. and just check crop without, not image direction, it is arrow direction now. So if the crop is forward, we want this animation, and if backward, else we want this animation forward. Let's just see. Okay, CSS is not different, so we'll have to import CSS from style components. Okay, yeah. So let's just so now this is our first image, and for the second image, it will be animating from right to left, and so is our arrow. So is our left arrow will also animate from right to left. Let's just see. Yes, it is animating again. It is popping a little bit. Oh, what is happening? Left. It is 50% na, and left will be 10%. Why it is popping? Let me just first check again. Why it is popping? Hmm. So it is jumping. It is jumping a little bit. So we'll check a backward animation from 50% to 10%. So I will just try to do 0%. It will pop in. So just check 90%, 10% light position for this styled arrow container. Let me just check the styled arrow container. The left position will be 10%. From 50 to 10%. Now it is working fine. So I have just written the 5% in place of 10%. That is working fine now. So now just see from the first on the start. So this is our first image. This is second image. Again arrow is coming. Again left arrow is coming with the image. Third image, fourth and fifth. The right arrow disappears, and when we clicked on left arrow, the right arrow comes with the image from right to left for the first time. Let's just check again. Yes. And now, so one more thing is remaining here is our indicator, that image indicator, that which image we are currently seeing. For that, we will go to the carousel, and we will write here two components basically. Yes, our first component is styled indicator container, which will be a style dot div, and the other container is simply a style indicator, which will be a style dot div. Give the width of 20 pixel, height of 10 pixel, and for this parent indicator container I will, so there are 5 images, so let's just give the width of 200, so that we can get some space. So 5 images, so 100 pixel will be for style indicator, and 100 pixel will be a free space. So style indicator container, we will write at the last. We will again need one fragment here, and we will write our styled indicator container, and in that we'll write styled indicator, which will be a self closing. And initially we will just set some background color, of let's just give the gray background color for now. Hmm. So background color will be gray initially. Hmm. So let's just first check how it is looking. Okay, so here we can see where it is coming. Okay, so we'll give background color black to see now, because gray is not visible. Yeah, so here it is coming. We want this container to be centered horizontally. For that, we will give margin 0 and auto to centered. Okay, and now we will give some margin here also for our indicator, that indicator. Okay, let's just give 10 pixel. And for style indicator container, we will give. Okay, okay. So we are only seeing one container now. So here, so for we have 5 images, so we will need 5 indicators. So we will just need to map to our images array. Images dot map will be our image, and we will just copy in. We will give key as image. It is not coming. Why it is not coming? Style indicator. Let's just see where it. Okay, so it is actually here, but there is some mistake. I think images will be our array. Will map through each images. Okay, so we will need a bracket here, not a curly braces, so that it will return a component. Okay, now it is here. Okay, so these are 5 components. Give some margin of 5 pixel to this container. Okay, and these we should keep it side by side. For that, we will use flex box to the parent. Display will be a flex. It will be a side by side. I want the width to be 30 pixel. Let's just see. Okay, height will be a 8 pixel. Color I want again the gray color now. So just use the gray color. Yeah, and now also give some border radius. Border radius of, let's say, 20 pixel. 20 pixel is more. Just give 10 pixel. Just try to give 5 pixel. And give 2 pixel here. Yeah, so now we want to indicate that this is first image, that this is second. For that, we'll write a simple logic here. So we will get our index for the images, and the logic will be if We'll send a bg color will be some color, then index will be our current image index. We will send some color, or we will not send any color if it is not. So we'll send a color of green, this green. And now bg color, we will receive a props here. Props, props, and that props will be a props.bg color. Let's just check. Yeah, so it is indicating now. This is the first image, the second, third, fourth, and fifth. But we want our previous background color also, which is gray. So we can just copy this for now. We can undo our previous color. We can write this color now. Okay, now we have completed. Give some border radius of 5 pixel. Yeah, now it is completed. This indicate the first image. The indicator is showing second image, third, fourth, and fifth. So indicator is also working fine. Our animation is also working fine, and slider effect is also working fine. Let's just check the responsive test. It is also, I think, responsive. So we can view it in a mobile also. And yeah, for the responsive also, it is working quite nice. Yeah, so this is, I think, all about the carousel or image slider, we can say. And we have built it using React and without any library. So that's it. Thank you.